Hey, it's Brett here with Blumendahl Guide Service, and if you've watched videos here before, you're very familiar with the typical fishing video and fishing discussion topic videos. However, we're going to talk about something a little different today. I've been working on a book project here for a long time that is starting to get to the point where I feel like it's worth talking about and introducing a little bit. So the book is a memoir. The title is Fishing for More. I'm still working on ironing out the subtitle. It's not finished yet, but it's as finished as I can do by myself and with the help of about a dozen of my close friends. So it's in the hands of professionals right now with the editing stage, editing. And then after that, I'm in the process of picking a cover designer. And then as we get all of those nuts and bolts ironed out, eventually we'll be able to talk about a release date and when it'll be ready for pre-order. So if you want to keep up to speed on these things and be notified as it becomes available to buy, you can do that at the website. There is a books tab at blumendahlfishing.com where you are able to subscribe to get updates, to be added to the newsletter, so to speak. And then you can make sure that you won't miss out when it's ready to order. I think it's a safe guess that for people who have followed this channel and the guide service business as a whole and my fishing adventures, they will enjoy the book because of the fishing, because of just learning more about how I developed my passion for fishing at an early age, as well as learning how I got around to setting up all of this, all of the business and all of that stuff, and how I wound up where I am. But I think even for people that don't know me or don't know the business or don't fish whatsoever and have no intentions of fishing, it's still a relatable story of the bigger picture of life and the purpose and the meaning of everything. It talks a lot about, like I just said, that search for meaning and purpose and finding a better way forward in life. There's a lot of reflections on prioritizing health and happiness over traditional ideas of success. And it's really about learning and choosing to do what it is you want to do in life, as opposed to something that someone else picks for you or assigns to you, kind of taking control over your own destiny, which at least for me, I think helped me get to a much better place and live a much healthier life. Some people may be at a place where they're looking to do the same thing, and some people may just want to escape and read about somebody else's story and live vicariously through it. And I think in both cases, it's a relatable and interesting story. The fishing part for me was basically just the vehicle to navigate all of these aspects of life and kind of how I found a better way forward. But the book as a whole is obviously, as the title implies, about much more than fishing. It was a bit cathartic and therapeutic to write, for sure. At times it was quite uncomfortable, but I think if you're writing a memoir, especially one that is supposed to be meaningful, I think if you're not a little uncomfortable when you're writing it, you're probably missing the meat of the story, and you're probably not creating very compelling content. So considering what it was like to write it, I think other people will hopefully find it compelling as well. And I'm going to cover more details about that landing page on the website for you to learn more about the book towards the end of this video, so make sure you stick around for that. It starts off at a scene with me at work and kind of at my low point of, feeling unfulfilled and kind of not inspired by the work that I was doing. And then I kind of take a break to reminisce about a previous fishing trip with my dad, which then led to me reminiscing about the very, very early beginnings of me getting into fishing in general. And then after that chapter, the whole book goes back to the first fishing trip, the first big fishing trip that I ever had with my dad out on the Missouri River, Lake Francis Case by Chamberlain, and how I kind of fell in love with walleye fishing in particular and reservoir fishing and just everything about it, the scenery, the process of finding the fish, the different techniques, and it just kind of became this obsession for me at a young age. And then it follows that period of my life where I was kind of learning and building my passion of fishing, and then growing up and getting a corporate job after college and kind of not being around fishing at all for a long period of time until it kind of all came back to me. And then the book from that point follows the process forward of me trying to debate what I wanted to do and what my doubts were about actually making that decision, and eventually chronicles about the first year and a half of my guiding experience. With that, it basically covers like how I figured out how to make the business work, the obstacles that were in my way, and the things that I overcame. And it also does chronicle some of the actual client trips that I've had. There's probably about, I would say, 5 or 6 different client groups that actually wind up in this book, and some cool stories, some funny, some tragic, and some just exciting about their experiences. And because at the time, like, it was their big experience, but it was also a huge experience for me because it was my first official guiding trips with some of these clients, or with clients in general. So there was a lot of interplay going on there between like what they're doing and then what's going on in my head, trying to make sure that they're having a good time and having a successful trip. So you get a little bit of the fishing action, and then also my internal dialogue of, you know, how I can make this all work. And yeah, I think that makes for some kind of interesting reading. At least that's my hope. I hope you find it as interesting reading. So far I've been working with like critique partners and some beta readers before the professional editors got their hands on it, and I've been pleasantly surprised how, the reception that it's gotten and how much people have enjoyed it, and that they found some meaning in it, which is awesome and makes me really happy. And hopefully everybody else has a similar experience, or at least most people that read it. So I'm definitely looking forward to when we get the editing done, which is supposed to be the end of March, and then I can make my updates, and then eventually we start looking towards picking a launch date. So that's exciting. So like I said, if you're at all interested, you can check out the website. There's a books tab on there, which basically has some quotes from the book and the book blurb, kind of the summary of the story, which you would find like on Amazon.com, or the jacket of the hardback, or on the paperback cover, back cover itself. And it has a few photos, not all of the photos, but a few of them that are going to make it into the book, and just kind of some previews of what to expect to get a feel for it. And when it gets to the point where the editing is done, I'm also going to release the first 3, maybe 4 chapters on an e-reader, which is actually on that page right now, so that you can read the first few chapters for free and decide if you like it. Then you can go out and buy it and read the rest of it. At this point, I have an old personal essay called Chasing 30, which was my experience of catching my first 30-inch walleye, on that little e-reader. So there's something to read there in the meantime, and it gives you an idea of what that e-reader is going to look like. And eventually that'll be the first few chapters of this new book, Fishing for More, when the time comes, when it's ready. I look forward to it. Hopefully you'll look forward to it as well, and can't wait to hear the feedback when the day comes. I'll be honest, I've done a handful of takes of this video over multiple days, so if you've noticed beard or hair growth different and out of control, congratulations, you're not wrong.